Hey YouTube, Babblerab, and this is something I've been meaning to have been posted in a while, in addition to the Prism deck. This is Nubatama Deck profile updated because I've only done one right at the start of Reckless Rampage, and I've been making a few changes due to testing and whatnot according to the deck. Awesome English! Making a few changes to the deck due to playtesting and stuff like that. So this is an update, in addition to 16 card G-Zone became a thing. So yeah, update to the deck, so I'm just going to jump straight into it. More or less, there's been minor changes, just like with Prisms. Well, Prisms have actually had some major changes, and outside of the 16 card G-Zone, I don't think too much has changed. Deck's getting more complete as I go. So, when I first started, when I first was playing this deck with the Stride build, I was playing one copy of my starter. Now, what I learned is if the starter gets retired, you're pretty much in a lot of trouble. So, you play two copies of the starter now, so either A, if you can't get the starter back to your hand with the after image ability and you draw into another one, you're good, or if your starter gets retired or locked or never unlocks or like gets retired or bound, I said retired twice, but that's okay, then you're able to draw into the second one, and honestly, having two of the starter is really, really helpful. In addition, if you have two of them in hand, you get like multiple unflips, so because Nubatamas outside the unflipping PG don't have much unflips, the two of the starter is pretty nice. Trigger lineup, 4 heals, 4 of the crit trigger that soul charges itself and gives your Vanguard 5k and then lets you draw a card. 4 more crit triggers, and then 4 stands. I've completely cut the draws from the deck. Reason I play him is because he puts himself back into your deck, and then you draw a card and get the unit 3k. Plus, in addition, when your opponent's got a really small hand, stand triggers become really good because you can stand up units and punch your opponent's Vanguard again. And odds are if they have a small hand, they're going to be losing cards, or they're just flat out not going to be able to guard. So those are the grade 0s. Grade 1s, 3 Stride Enablers, 4 Aramatatabi. I do want to try to get the unflipping PG for this deck because he's got an okay effect and I do enjoy using him, but he's not at the same level of usefulness as like Atagolord, which I play in my Rexes. So I think just based on the fact that since Nubatamas don't have any other way to really countercharge, you probably want the unflipping PG, so yeah, I do want to play 4 unflipping PG. I have 1, so I'm making progress a little bit. Still playing 4 Dreadmaster because he's a good pressure unit. Yeah, just the ability to have an attack swing, and if I got a smaller hand than you, you need to think, okay, is he going to actually use Dreadmaster, or, yeah, it just forces out more guards. Because Kujikiricongo is not as important, not seeming to be as important more recently. I've dropped the Limit Break Enabler down to 2 from 3 in favor of playing a second copy of my starter because I think having 2 starters is more important than having 3 Limit Break Enablers. More or less, that's pretty much not too different. For grade 2s, we're playing 4 Tamahagane. He's a free bind of something on the field, so he's good, and he can trigger your after image abilities in the early stages of the game. And then from 3, I'm playing 4 Agitomaru. Comboed with Tamahagane is really nice, and it's just a good pressure unit once you've started binding cards from your opponent's hand. You just want to see it as much as possible. In regards to it versus Miyabi, Miyabi is a bit counterblast heavy since Nubatamas don't have a way to countercharge. So Agitomaru, being a free put something from your bind zone into your drop zone, is good. Plus it's done on Vanguard and Rearguard, so again, it's a good pressure unit. And then playing 3 Miyabi just because she's not as important as Tamahagane and Agitomaru are, due to the fact that A, she's GB1s, you can't use her in the early stages of the game. 2, like she does bind a card in your hand, and you do see 3 quite frequently, but I do prioritize seeing Tamahagane and Agitomaru over Miyabi just because she will use Counterblast up, and sometimes you need to keep that Counterblast. Grabbing cards is hard. Grade 3s, these need to be 4 Shiranuis. I'm working on it. I'm working on getting more. It's just a long process because I can't find them anywhere. So, but I've got 2 now from 1. So yeah, 2 Shiranui and then 2 of him, but 4 Shiranui is ideally what you want. So yeah, this is pretty much what you want to be seeing on your Vanguard Circle pretty much every single game because Shiranui is freaking amazing. And the backup grade 3 is Kujikiricongo because, let's be honest, most of the other Nubatama grade 3s are especially in this build. So Kujikiricongo is nice. Just because if you're at limit break 4, you can like break rid of him. Plus he makes this guy's bind permanent, so that's good. But yeah, that's more or less all the changes I made to the main deck. The big one is the second copy of the starter, which is, as I said, to give you a bit more resistance to being like retired and whatnot, so you don't end up running into a scenario where you've lost your starter and you can't get it back. So for the G-Zone, 16, good. I have 16 cards in that G-Zone. I only played one Jorurirakan. At least this is a last minute decision. I was thinking about it as I was like prepping the deck to do the deck profile. Do I really need to play 2? Because I don't think I ever go into him more than once. He is a bit counterblast heavy at the CB2. And most of the time you only ever want to stride him if you have him as your Vanguard. So just based on the fact that I only ever, or since he isn't an unflip, and based on the fact that I only ever will really stride him either A, if I need to bind stuff desperately with Shiranui, or if I need to, or if I'm using Kujikiricongo, you only really need one. One thing I would like to get more than one of those is Tsukumorakan. I want to have at least 2 because the combo with him and Shiranui is really powerful due to the fact they can reduce your opponent's hand size to 3. And if you get a whole field plus your stand triggers, you're going to be dealing damage that turn. But yeah, him combo with Shiranui is very powerful, and I think 1 is not enough. 2 copies of Rikudo Stealth Rogue and Gedatsurakan. He's basically an on-hit, your opponent discards a card, so it's good pressure combined with Shiranui, because Shiranui is already taking a card out of your opponent's hand after you stride this guy over top, plus he's binding a rear guard, which could be an intercept, and then if he lands, you knock another card out of their hand, so that's like 2 cards out of their hand. It's not like, it is exactly 2 cards out of their hand, which is really important. The finisher of the deck, I'm playing 4 copies of Rikudo Stealth Rogue Atagolord. You get the +1 crit, and if you've got your opponent to the point that they've got a really small hand by the time this guy's swinging, odds are it's probably getting through unless your opponent PGs. But you are dropping a card from your opponent's hand when he swings, so that's really important with the deck. Yeah, but like I said, probably the most important card you want to have more than 1 copy of would be Tsukumorakan, just because if your opponent's like building up a really big hand, you need to be able to punish that. I mean, not that we really want to be punishing people's hands, but we play Nubatamas, so I guess we do want to punish people's hands. This card I would like to get a few more copies of as well. I don't know what I'm going to be taking out of my G-Zone for it, but Gounrakan, what he does is basically he's the rearguard version of Tsukumorakan. So it's your opponent chooses, I gotta read this, sorry. Your opponent chooses, wait. So basically instead of 4 cards from the hand, they choose 2 of their favorite rearguards and the rest get bound. And the most important thing about this is it's a free bind, guaranteed when you stride him. So if your opponent has a big field, they pick their 2 favorite rearguards that they want to keep, and they bind the rest of them face down. In addition with Shiranui, those 2 rearguards get turned to 1 rearguard. So that's really nice. But what I like the most about this guy is that there's no cost for his bind, so the fact that he can trigger your after image abilities for free, which a lot of stuff in this deck actually cannot do. I mean, Tamahagane and Kujikiricongo are the only real main deck things that can trigger your after image abilities, so the fact that you've got a stride unit that can also do that is really important. And then that is all of the Nubatama strides, and then same thing as I did before. This one unflips stuff even more, but Seabreeze to punish grade 2 game, and this deck does get hurt if your opponent tries to grade 2 game you, so you need to make sure you can get your GB1 online. And then Blizza, just because I guess I'm just throwing Blizza into every deck these days. But probably not that important of a card, honestly. I'd probably drop Blizza actually for another copy of Gounrakan. And then G-Guardians screw because 25k shield is actually really helpful, and Dismal so you can protect your rearguards because Nubatamas actually do need their rearguards. And then I'm playing 3 copies of the G-Guardian that Nubatamas got in the new Fighters collection. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions about this deck, any suggestions you'd like to make, let me know in the comments below, and otherwise I will talk to you guys later. Peace. In addition, before I end the video with the Nubatama deck profile, I felt that I'm still was a little bit rusty on the Prism and the Nubatama deck profile. I don't know what you guys think, but that's just my thoughts on it, so I apologize if I was being boring or anything like that, but yeah, I've been meaning to do these deck profiles for a while, so I felt that I just need to get them done. Or, not get them done, but yeah, you know what I mean. You just, yeah, I guess get them done is the correct word. But yeah, hopefully once if I start posting more frequently, I do plan on doing like a miscellaneous Vanguard video potentially once a week, and then like a deck profile not every Saturday, but like Saturday not Saturday, sorry, Sundays is when I plan on posting deck profiles now. I'm actually going to try to get myself on a schedule here. And then Monday could be just miscellaneous Vanguard content, like more of the types of Vanguard players, which I am working on editing another video for that for. And then, yeah, I've also got like, what else do I have that I could be showing you guys? I guess doing like the Vanguard or the card fights that I did on the channel could also be classified under the Monday stuff. I'm currently in process of building like a Beast Deity deck and whatnot, so I think once that's done I may show you guys that build. And then once my once the order for some reindeer stuff for my reindeer deck comes in, I would be happy to show you guys that too. Otherwise, this is going to be the 2 decks that I'm going to be showing you guys now, and then later on I will show you some more of them and what I've been doing. I could probably also profile my Rexes eventually too, which I actually brought to a tournament. But yeah, so Sundays is when you can expect me to be posting deck profiles. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to be posting every Sunday, but I'm just going to have it at a fixed day so you know, or so I don't have to worry about just posting stuff randomly. I'm trying to get myself on a schedule here in addition with my gaming channel. So yeah, I think I've ranted on too long, so I'm just going to let you guys go. Take care.